Yes, the internet and every guitar player I know is abuzz with excitement about the new Epiphone and Gibson Back to the Future guitars. These are ES-345 guitars. I'll give you the basic specs, but I'm not going to read you the press release. What I'm going to do is compare the new Epiphone ES-345 in the Back to the Future collection to the current lineup from Epiphone. So look, if you're a fan of the movie like so many of my friends are, and I am myself, it's like a take my money situation. Here, take my money, I'm buying it, $9.99, great price from Epiphone. Very exciting. But if you're more of the impulse buyer and you're ready to pull the trigger, take one deep breath and watch this video. It's John here from Plain Trade Guitars, and if you like new guitar reviews and informative buyer's guides, hit subscribe and join this community of guitar players and traders. You'll be glad you did. And when we're talking about the new Back to the Future ES-345 from Epiphone and Gibson Custom at just under 20 grand, if you got the money, I'm telling you, there's an affordable alternative to each of these guitars from Epiphone and Gibson, and you'll want to know what's out there. And if you are in the market for any new gear, click to buy new gear using my link because you will get fast free shipping and easy payment plans. Those payment plans makes buying something like a new Gibson or Epiphone guitar way easier. Trust me, check that out, or you can scan this QR code if you're watching on a TV. All right, let's dive in. I'll give you the headlines on the brand new Epiphone Back to the Future ES-345. We'll briefly touch on the Gibson Custom, which is a super limited release of 88 guitars at $19,999. Yes, you heard that right. The Epiphone is a little more down to earth and back to a realistic future of $999 for the rest of us. So I'm going to really focus on that one and some great Epiphone and Gibson alternatives. Let's dive in now. Oh, and by the way, this guitar will be here tomorrow. I'll have a full review and full demo, including an on-the-bench teardown, playing demos, and a full performance. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss my full demo. Now, let's look at where it sits in the marketplace. So here we are at $999. It's a limited edition guitar. Guess how many they're making? 1,985, 1985. That's what they're limited to. In fact, I already saw that they're sold out on Epiphone's website. They're not sold out here, hint, hint, so use my link. You can find them in stock for as long as they'll last. I'm sure they will go fast. I mean, this was such an iconic movie. I can't go to a gig without somebody quoting Back to the Future. There's not a sound check or a green room discussion that doesn't at some point deviate to Back to the Future. And it's a cultural icon. And it's one of the most influential guitar movies. That one scene is one of the most influential guitar moments in movie history. So you know all that. That's why you're here. Let's see what other guitars are available. And the main thing to understand is that $999, it has some great value features like a hard shell case. I'm thrilled that they went with true rosewood on this fretboard. They did not cheap out and give us Pau Ferro or anything. It's got the Kalamazoo or traditional Epiphone style headstock rather than the Gibson open book headstock like you'd find in the Inspired by Gibson custom collection. And it's got this beautiful cherry gloss finish. It's got Epiphone Pro Bucker pickups. It's got a licensed Bigsby on here. And this is very cool. If you've not played a Veritone switch, a Veritone switch is basically a series of capacitors that are going to introduce a palette of extra tones in the guitar. There are other guitars from Epiphone that have that feature, but it's really cool and it's very much worthwhile. It makes for a lot of fun tone combinations, and I really dig that. So on the surface, I have no complaints. Under $1,000, fans of the movie, the friends I know, are gonna go buy this without even thinking about it. I mean, it's like, don't tell me about the specs, here's my money, I told you. But for the rest of us who are like, yeah, it's pretty cool, what else is available before I go drop a grand, let me tell you now. If you got the big bucks, here you are. They made only 88 of these. This is the Gibson Custom Shop Limited Edition 1955 ES-345 electric guitar. Interestingly enough, if you didn't know this, the guitar in the movie was a 1959 ES-345. The movie was set in 1955. So it's funny that they did put 1955 in the title of this guitar. But nonetheless, the original guitar was supplied by Norm's Rare Guitars and went missing after the shoot. So there's actually a whole big effort underway to find the original guitar. They actually even set up a website called Lost to the Future, where you can report tips if you know the whereabouts of the actual original guitar. Gibson is working really hard to track down that guitar, and they announced that initiative probably about 4 or 5 months ago. But that's pretty cool. So anyways, that's the little bit of trivia there. The guitar in the movie is 1959, not 55, but here they got 55 in the title. All right, for the rest of us who cannot afford a $20,000 guitar, let's bring it down to earth a little bit with Gibson USA. Now, the 345 is a dressed up version of the iconic 335. 345 actually referred to the price of the guitar when it was released in 1959. The ES-335, that came out in 1958 at $335. The next year, they dressed it up as the ES-345 for $345. So it's meant to be a more elegant, souped-up version of the 335, but it's still a semi-hollow guitar with a center block and that classic combination of laminated maple, poplar, maple that makes that arch-topped kind of semi-hollow thing. ES, by the way, stands for Electric Spanish, so very cool. But this is at $37.99. This is the off-the-shelf Gibson USA production model of the ES-345. It's good to know that it's there. Just this year, they also announced the Gibson Marcus King ES-345. And as soon as I saw this, the first thing I thought was not only Marcus King, who was one of my favorite guitar players, but immediately Back to the Future, because it's got those vibes. So the fact that it was 6 months ahead of the Back to the Future thing totally makes sense now, okay? But that's at $39.99. You can watch my demo on this guitar and all the others here on the channel. But that's at just under $4,000. Back into Epiphone territory. This is one of the best sellers. This is the Inspired by Gibson Custom Collection, which is going to sport a true Gibson open book headstock. It's going to have a rosewood board with mother of pearl block inlays and Gibson custom buckers. That's a $500 set of custom buckers right there. And it's got a hard shell case at $1149. I mean, I'm sorry. I love Back to the Future, but don't forget about this guitar. This is an insanely good guitar at $1149, great deal. And there's also the dressed up, if you like that dressed up look, that kind of upgraded look of the 345, there's even another step I'll do you here, the 355, which is beautifully dressed up with an ebony board, a Les Paul custom style headstock with the split diamond, the Gibson open book headstock, custom buckers once again, and a hard shell case. This guitar is at $12.99, another great deal and super elegant. And check this out, check it out in classic white. That is absolutely gorgeous. I think I would go for the classic white. That is just too sharp. It's like the Les Paul custom version of an ES-335 or something at $12.99. Now, one of the things that makes the new Back to the Future guitar unique is that it has a Bigsby, okay, and it has the Veritone switch. I got something that'll blow your mind. Look at this guitar right here. This is the Shinichi Ubukata, fun to say, ES-355 custom, okay? $11.99 in satin cherry, but here's the deal. We have a set of Gibson USA 57 humbuckers, these really cool Trini Lopez diamond or cat eye F-holes. And look at this. Here we go. Ding, ding, ding. We got a Bigsby and we have a Veritone switch. This guitar is insanely cool and it's got true Gibson pickups. So Back to the Future, $9.99. Shinichi Ubukata, $11.49. This is a sleeper favorite of many players because it's got all the features, and particularly it's got the features that you're finding in the Back to the Future guitar. All right, now if you want ES-335 on a budget, I'm talking a semi-hollow guitar of which the ES-345 fits into that category, right, as a dressed up 335. But the classic and still elegant ES-335 Dot from Epiphone can be had for $599. And this is a great guitar. If you're not typically a semi-hollow player and you want to get into something on a budget, done. Enough said. Dot 335, $599. However, I will tell you, if we're going to take the math and figure out if the new Back to the Future guitar is priced right at $999, let's take this ES-335 at $599, right? It does not have a hard shell case. That's going to cost you between $100 and $200 right there. So let's add that to the price. It doesn't have a Bigsby. It doesn't have the Veritone switch. And it doesn't have the limited edition insanely cool factor of Back to the Future. So considering all that, of course, $599 up to $999, I think one of the biggest headlines of the Back to the Future guitar from Epiphone is that they priced it dead on right. And it's a great deal, and it has a limited edition hard shell case, which is super cool. And it'd be hard to beat that, but here you go. If you want something under 600 bucks, there it is. That is a fantastic guitar. You can watch my demo on that as well. Now, if you like that Veritone, here's another idea for you. This is the BB King Lucille at $949 in ebony. And it will not have F-holes, which is kind of a cool understated look, but it will have the Veritone, and it'll have an ebony board with acrylic block inlays, Lucille on the headstock, and just a very cool guitar. And it's even got this TP6 tailpiece, which makes it unique. That is a little less than the Back to the Future guitar, but this is a bestseller, of course, as well. It does come with a Epi Light case, which is kind of like a backpack gig bag kind of a thing, somewhere between a soft and hard case. But I suppose between these two, if in particular you like the Bigsby, probably the new Back to the Future is actually more attractive if you're not going to spring for that Shinichi Ubukata with the same feature set and Gibson USA pickups. Now check this out. I do have to point out, when I told you about that ES Dot, I said it didn't have a hard shell case. I'm leaving some of the best for last in terms of bargains, okay? This is the Jim James ES-345 70s guitar. This is in a walnut finish. It has a slim neck. Some of the 335s don't have the slimmest necks. This guitar is designed to have a pencil thin neck. So if you want a thin neck, if you want a hard shell case, this comes with one. And it's a fantastic guitar with Alnico Classic Pro pickups, which I love in the Epiphone lineup. And they've got it discounted right now by $300. You can get the Jim James ES-335 for a limited time, $599. You can click my link to shop gear, or you can scan this QR code if you're watching on a TV. You can even do that with payment plans. You could literally get the Jim James ES-335 for $49 a month for 12 months, no interest. It's not a credit card, it's a payment plan, and it's yours. So I gotta just tell you that that is the best deal going if you want a semi-hollow guitar. Screaming bargain right there, and one of my favorite guitars I've reviewed. You can watch that as well. Here we go, talking about the ES-345, summing it up here. Fantastic set of features. I can't wait to get my hands on it for the full demo. I'll remind you to hit subscribe. I will have a full demo on this guitar with an on-the-bench teardown and full specs, an overview, playing demos, performance, and of course my honest raw reaction to playing the actual guitar. You can watch the demo I just put out on the new Joe Bonamassa 59 Les Paul Custom, for example. That was just last week. And this guitar is going to be coming to you on Play and Trade Guitars very soon with a full demo. Drop a comment though, I'd love to hear from you. What do you think of the brand new Back to the Future ES-345? I am really excited about it. There were some rumblings that it was on the way, and I'm smiling. I mean, all my friends I'm talking to, all the guitar players say that this is super cool. And at $999, I think they really did it right and they did not overprice it. They also have some new lifestyle merchandise. If you want to check out the t-shirts and all that, Gibson is doing the whole thing. They have a whole license deal with Universal, tying in the film and all that. So I figured I wouldn't just read you the press release and read you the bullet points, which you can read for yourself, but rather what I wanted to do in this video was educate you where this guitar fits in the lineup of other great semi-hollow options from Epiphone and Gibson. And at the end of the day, my job is to give you my recommendations on where to spend your money when it comes to the best new guitars on the market. I really dig that Back to the Future ES-345. It looks like a great set of features. In the meantime, I'll also point out that one of the best deals around there with the same feature set, that Shinichi Ubukata, is super cool. That's an exclusive guitar. Click the link to check that out. Satin cherry with Gibson 57 humbuckers. I'm just saying, it's pretty tempting to compare those two, is it not? So for Play and Trade Guitars, I'm John. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and be here for my full demo on the Back to the Future ES-345 coming very soon. Can't wait to bring that to you. Until next time, drop a comment, make sure you're subscribed, shop gear using my link, and keep playing. See you next time, and thanks for watching.